Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what is going on? What up, what up, what up? What's going on? Patrick Guyan coming in with the first. Man, I hope my stuff's actually like outputting here. Okay, here we go. Everything on my end is just being really slow. I don't know why. That's weird. Whatever. What's going on, everybody? What up, Patrick Guyan? Yes, you are first, my dude. You are numero uno, my dude. Thank you for being here and smashing that lizardy like button. As all the rest of you guys start sliding on in, certainly smash that lizardy like button. Subscribe if you're new here. Hit the bell notification for everything. You know the drill. What's going on? All right, so we're gonna keep this as like a little bit of a casual kickback for FA for Friday, guys. Let's take a look at what the market is doing on a Friday. So it kind of does look like we are setting up for returning back to like the old school market, like Thursday and Friday, you would typically see a dump, and then by Sunday, you'd start seeing the market pump to a Monday rally. Wednesday cool off, going into a Friday dump again. It's like, are we like returning back to like old school charting? Saying it so. I'd be really happy to see us go right back into the old trading style of, Friday people would take their profits on a Friday so they can enjoy it Saturday night and Saturday, Friday night and Saturday night. Sunday they get back into the market. Monday the market rallies. By Wednesday people are like transferring some profits out just a little bit, and then Friday you complete the cycle. It's like and it used to pump it. It would dump at about 2-3 between like 1:30 and 3 a.m. Central Standard Time. The market used to sit there and rally on a Monday. Same thing with on a Friday. Would dump on a Friday, like typically right around 2:30 in the morning. Market would just shit itself. So it was like you were able to play these market rallies if you really wanted to wrap your head around it. And I sat there and played the market early on going, oh, this is completely manipulated. I'm like, I know a manipulated market when I see one. And this is textbook characteristic. But sitting here looking at the way that I've been charting stuff, right? Check this out. You can't make this stuff up, right, guys? I mean, you literally can't. What up, Sadie? All the time. You can't make this up. So here it was, I was expecting, back in last month, towards the beginning of the month, I was thinking, we're setting up for what I think is a breakout. Either we're going to be breaking out or we're going to dump to the downside. And I was like, we saw a pretty good little rally here. And I was like, from here, I would not cry to see it come down, bounce, and then start rallying up, right? That was my thought. And it's like, it could have, I could have charted it and made it come up a lot sharper and came out over here. But I kept it low. But at the same time, me putting in this little circle, right? Way back up over here. We were on this day. So you're talking about January 10th. I charted this out. And it looks like I might have circled the day that we were going to retest our support line here. I might have had my thoughts on this backwards. But we are trading with right inside the channel. Seeing it come down, test the top, test the bottom, test the top. If we could sit there and just trade a little sideways in here, just a little longer, we have a better chance of breaking up to the upside than we do breaking down. I would realistically, I would like to see a $30,000 Bitcoin here. Doesn't mean I'm going to get that, but I still would like to see that. Even if I don't see that right now, we are still in a good position here. We are sitting in, you know, you start getting into here, we're in slightly oversold territory through here, right? And then just a little bit above this would be considered like a neutral market, right? As soon as you start getting up a little bit higher into here, this is bubble territory. As soon as you start getting near this line line up in here, you're starting to look at bubble territory. Because like the market has to kind of come up in there, trade around, and then once it's trading around within this new channel, it will reset the channel if it trades in there long enough. But we haven't done that. That's what makes the market so volatile, is that we will chop up into the next tier and blast right through it. We don't even hang out in there. We're just like, oh, we're just checking this out. We're window shopping as we drive through. And unfortunately, that causes major corrections. As we saw from the 64,000 and how quickly it dropped. There was no support going all the way up to 64,000. That's why in this channel here, I would love to sit there and just kind of see this bounce in here and just kind of reset the channel line and make this, the new ground floor. We need to establish a ground floor. Otherwise, realistically, the ground floor is right around that $12,000 marker. And that's like pretty weak too. And after 12,000, the only real support we've been able to see is at $3,200 Bitcoin. And if that happens, that's going to wreck the market in every sense known possible. But where we're at right now, I still see this as very healthy. We've kind of gone down. We've broken out a little bit below where I said the bottom floor for the support channel would be. That's fine. Nothing's an exact science. But, being able to call it close enough, good enough for me. So I'm going to be sitting here kind of paying attention to it. Hopefully tomorrow's candle will print up and get above this channel line here and actually establish the support. You can dip below, but if you print 3 candles below it, then the support line will break down. So we need tomorrow to actually be a green candle day. I'm just saying, green candle day will cooled off this market movement and allow it to trade out sideways a little bit further, and hopefully we'll start rebounding from here. But that's realistically upon how tomorrow closes, not how it opens, but how it closes. Granted, Bitcoin trades 24/7. I get it. But you want your ending day candle to be positive tomorrow. So if we can't hold on to a positive candle tomorrow and we break down further, we're going to break out of this channel line, and it's going to have some negative impacts on the market. How far down we'll break down from there, hard to say. We established basically the support line right at 16,500, right? Is where we realistically hit the support channel. And look at this, guys. Like I say, just because you see a candle drop out from below a support line for a couple of candles doesn't mean that that's not the support line still. So it's like you almost got to see how the week goes at that point. If we sit there and trade down a little bit, like we had a good rise, we're having a normal pullback, and if we can sit there and just kind of ride a little Elliott wave going up, I think we're going to be doing good. That's just going to be kind of my thoughts on this. Could be wrong. I don't know. It's like when you're trying to figure out where Bitcoin's price is going to be tomorrow, bro, that's anyone's guess. All you can do is take the data that you see in front of you and try to make the best educated guess with the data that you use in front of you. How many times you're wrong depends on either one, how accurate your data is, or two, how accurate your guesses are. You know. What up, Patrick? He's like, I am back, F.A. What up, the Goblin Dude? Howdy, howdy. So, we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, realistically, we might have to wait until the end of the week to really see where the market sentiment is going to try to push out to. This is the first bit of bullish sentiment that we've had in the market in a hot minute, guys. So there's probably people at this level right now that are trying to take some kind of profit. And we'll just have to see, if this is going to be a bear fake out, or if this is, going to be a bull fake out. What up, Gundy stuff and things? F.A. Yo. So, yeah, we'll have to see where this all goes, but it's kind of funny that I kind of called that where the market movement was, but I didn't think that I was, calling the day of when it would pull back. I was hoping to see it go the other way, but, again, it was a guess of mine of where I thought the market would go. And it snapped off a lot faster than I thought, but Bitcoin does that. It does its Bitcoin thing. And I think we're going to be looking at it doing its Bitcoin thing once again. We're in the new tax season. Once people start getting their taxes back, we're going to see money inflow come back in, I believe, as people take that tax money and purchase some more of that Bizzity Bitcoin. So that's just my thought patterns on that. My thought patterns. Nothing more than that. And it's not like any of the other markets have been any better. You can go into the gold market. Gold took a hit too, guys. Gold took a hit a few days before Bitcoin did. And gold is doing a death cross right now. So gold is having a massive pullback because, again, we're going to be seeing, gold is always been seen as a safe haven asset. And whenever a safe haven asset has a big correction, that means people have gotten rid of their gold positions and gone into more riskier assets. So don't think of gold as where Bitcoin is going to be sitting at. Yo, what up, Texinji coming in with the 20. Damn, dude. You rock, man. Booyah, man. Tech Shinji, much love. Much love. You rock. So, it's like gold and silver gonna blow. Oh, yeah. So, we're going to be seeing a lot of these, riskier assets becoming more, because a lot of the traditional market is now looking at, tech stocks, tech sector. All these little bit of riskier areas where it's more capital intensive. People are going to be, because they think that inflation's been killed by the central bank. Patrick, I've pulled people onto my channel here, but I'm also on DCA Adventure. So I do co-streams. I stream with all the guys over at DCA Adventure. But I haven't done it where I brought somebody else in that was streaming with us and we were both having a conversation. That much I've never done before. Never have. Would I oppose doing something like that? No. Like, I'm doing good stuff, good man, bringing new cameras and cameras for car stuff. Yo, nice. Man, Tech Shinji, your cameras are on point, bro. Your cameras are on point. And my lighting's on point. Man, we make a good team. No, too bad you don't live anywhere near me at all. But yep. I've never done like co-streaming though. That one's a new one. Yeah, but your hair is perfect. I gotta put it into a ponytail because it's got a mind of its own. Man, you got that perfect jet black hair. Man, the wind blows and the hair goes right back where it's supposed to be. Too funny, Tech. Oh, that's cheesy, Goblin. That is cheesy. Too funny. But check this out. Going into some hardware news. All he found was darkness. Too funny, Tech. So here we go with MSI supports capacities up to 192 gigabytes of RAM, guys, by the Intel 700 series motherboards. Bro, that is huge. I mean, it's like I'm old enough to remember when 4 gigabytes of RAM was a lot of RAM on one stick, let alone to need 2 of them. I mean, my first PC that I built, we had populated it with it had dual channel RAM, and it had capacity up to, what was it? I had 4, and they were expensive at the time too. It was DDR3, 4 gigabytes a piece of 3666. Or no. No, it wasn't even that high. No way. It was 16660 memory. Yeah, and it was expensive for its day. Yo, Tech Shinji, for sure. See you around. Thank you for coming in. Much love, homie. Much love. Yo, thank you for the donation. Also, you rock, dude. You absolutely rock. So MSI is coming out with this. I mean, it's like, even in my computer right now, I've got 64 gigabytes of RAM in here. And 15 years ago, that was unheard of, let alone necessary. I mean, like, if somebody sat there and told me, "Oh, how much RAM do you need?" I was like, no more than 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's all you'll ever need. If you're like some kind of editor of some sort, you might need 16 gigabytes of RAM, but nothing more than that. So, as a matter of fact, that's what I got in my old computer. It's 16 gigabytes of RAM. Or that's where it started off at. That's right. That's what it started off at, was 16 gigabytes of RAM. Because I've always loved overclocking. Always have loved overclocking. But now we're going to get ranges of, 192 gigabytes of RAM now. Especially if you're sitting there and you've got 48 gigabyte and 24 gigabyte DDR5 modules now. Outside of data centers, you would have never seen stuff like this, nor would anybody. I'm not even sure if it's really necessary, to be honest, to really needing that much RAM. I don't care what you are doing. Unless you're one of those sick, sadistic people that has every tab open possible using Microsoft Edge. Maybe. you know, but for anybody else, you're a hardcore gamer, even an editor. I don't even think that for video editing, nobody's using that much data that they need that much. You would be more beneficial to how many mega transfers per second that you're getting versus how much storage capacity. I mean, unless you're running virtual machines up the yin yang. Outside of that, I don't see any real necessity for that. So it'll be very interesting where they're going to be going, because like I've never even, like, the 64 gigabytes that I have in my own computer, I've never maxed out my RAM. Never. I think I've been at maybe 25% utilization at the highest point whenever I'm doing video editing, at the most. And that was render. That was me checking out rendering in 4K. And I got up that high. 8K gonna be what? Maybe 40% of what I've got here. But by the time that, with some of this stuff coming out and the faster RAM speeds and the more mega transfer, how many mega transfers per second you're getting, it's like at some point in time, even the software is going to benefit from it, and you'll see, it's like I have a feeling that, that 30% threshold utilization on your RAM for any one given task is kind of going into the future on this one, is going to stay right at that 20 to 30% utilization at 64 gigabytes. So, I mean, depending on the purpose of your computer, but for most people, you're gaming, you're watching YouTube on it, you might be mining on it, probably mining on it if you're watching here. You're not going to utilize that much RAM. I don't care how much overclocking you do on your CPU, you are not going to benefit from that. You benefit overclocking wise with one stick of RAM for each channel. Just saying. You start putting in the 2 sticks of RAM per channel, and you start lowering your threshold for overclocking. Like my Threadripper, I can get this thing up to 4.5 gigahertz across all cores, right? But I can only do that with one RAM stick in it. With all the RAM sticks in there, stable 4.2. So I lose 0.3 megahertz for running all the RAM in there. That's 8 sticks of RAM I've got in my computer because it's a Threadripper. 64,000 ought to be enough for anyone. Truth, Patrick. 100% truth. What up, Automatic Beats? Left-handed cigarettes. Engaged. Just saying. What up? Glad to have you here, my dude. So it looks like the chipsets that are going to be supporting all of the 24 gigabyte and 48 gigabyte DDR5 support is going to be the Z790, the B760, the Z690, the B660, and the H61 or the H610. So 13th gen core processor and some of the 12th gen core processors. Top tier for 12th gen. 13th gen will be able to support this, probably not so much on the lower end, but for sure on the high end, yeah, we're gonna get it. So it'll be very interesting to see how the utilization of all that RAM, where it really benefits from. Does VR benefit from it in any way, shape, or form? I know VR gets hindered with GPU, older GPUs like 1070 Ti's. kind of pushing the limit for the minimum spec hardware. It will play it. 1070 Ti will play VR, but of course, a 1080 Ti does it smoother. And I know going into the 30 series that there is no more real stuttering unless you got a loading screen coming up. But it's like depending on what VR are you playing, that might be able to hit it. Is it CPU bound VR, where the VR is just for the visual experience, but everything else is being handled with inside of the CPU? Maybe that'll be the situation where you need all the crazy RAM, but I would see something like Blender Render having more of an impact for this. Maybe if you've got a lot of virtual machines, sure, but outside of that, I don't see any necessity for it. You know what I see a necessity for, though? Wishing I can get something like this, an ARC A750 for just $150. Yo, Japanese retailer Kaubu, I can't say it, is now offering ARC A750s for just 19,800 yen, which is 150 American dollars. Yo, what is important to note is that the price includes VAT. So if you were to convert this over to U.S. pricing, it would be even lower. Japanese VAT is 10%. Intel recently announcing a price cut from its 289 model to 249, which is already considered a great deal for this GPU. Needless to say, $150 is even a better promotion, but it's for a very limited time deal indeed. Only a certain number of cards are available. Furthermore, the retailer is not taking pre-orders through the phone, so these cards are for in-store pickup offer only. Womp womp. I wish I could get this. If anybody's out there that can purchase these, man, I will send Bitcoin. Just to get one of them. I mean, I'm not even trying to get a whole lot of them. I would just like to get one at $150. Recently, a reviewed from tech testers who put this card against the RX 6600 non-XT, and both models offered were offered at similar $250 price, and at $100 lower for this comparison would make it even look better for ARC. So ARC might be coming in where AMD used to sit at, which was for the budget gamers like us. Yo. Like, I might need to get my hands on another 32 gigabyte RAM kit. How much RAM do you already got? I mean, if you've already got 32 gigabytes, depending on your workload, you're not going to need more. Usually where people bottleneck, it's not in the RAM, believe it or not. Most people bottleneck in the CPU or the GPU. Either one or the other is too old. And if they're both newer, you're not going to really benefit. You're not going to get any more performance for maxing out the capabilities of your RAM. I probably could have gone a little cheaper on my computer and gotten 8 sticks of 4 gigabyte RAM and would have been perfectly happy. Like 32 gigs, but I also run your own node and VMs and a game at the same time. Do you have any problems doing that as of right now? And if you are, take a look and see where your bottleneck is. Are you actually maxing out your RAM, or are you pegging your CPU because of the virtual machines? Running a Bitcoin node isn't going to take up a lot of RAM. That's like nothing. "4K editing said it needs more RAM." Yeah, and it's like even like at 64 gigabytes, I did a 4K rendering and it utilized like 25-30% of my RAM. You know, uh, but Goblin ain't doing no video editing like that. Playing a video game, unless you're doing VR, no. It's like, and if you're, I would more think your CPU is probably maxing out if you're having any issues. 1660 is like running a very efficient 1070 Ti. But your Ryzen 5 5600X could be where your bottleneck is, my dude. Man, I did leg day this morning. Woo! I have been just guzzling water down all day. So, yeah, I would love to, if anybody's out in Japan and can get me one of these GPUs, DM me. Now. With that being said, check this out. Windows 11's going to be putting on its own RGB bloatware. Thank you, Windows 11, for adding in new personalized bloatware I didn't ask for. Bad enough that the motherboard companies and each individual RGB company it has their own, like ASUS piles on bloatware that I do not need because it's going to consistently freaking ET phone home because I want to have RGB control. If Windows 11's RGB controller interfaces with all the different types of RGB out there, I will be happy. Especially if it's not like running all this other bloatware in the background. As long as it's not running all this other bloatware in the background, I won't be so so upset about it, right? For sure, Goblin. Take it easy, my dude. Take it easy. So no more iCUE or Razer Synapsys, ASUS lighting control, Gigabyte lighting control. All of them have their own variation. And a lot of them have their own like little drawbacks and things that we all bitch and moan about. My thing about ASUS our RGB controller is it puts a bunch of bloatware on there, and the software doesn't just auto update. And when it needs an update, and ASUS tells it needs an update, it stops the RGB controller from actually interfacing on my RGB. Yeah, it gets irritating sometimes, guys. Not always the best experience from me with utilizing ASUS stuff. So, yeah, I'm hopeful that it's not more bloatware. But if somebody's not utilizing any RGB and they don't even have it plugged in, and Windows 11 still puts this in, now you've got extra software you didn't want on your machine, and it's sitting there idle in the background, taking up resource space. I don't see enough FAs in the Chizity chat. That is true, guys. Everybody, Jason the Tiger Osborne here has a request. Need more FA. Need more FA in the Chizity chat, guys. We need more FA. I concur with this, man. That is the smartest thing I've seen today. Need more FA. Yeah. There we go, automatic boots. Like, I have a need for more FA. Truths. Truths. So, bam. Some of the screenshots from early Windows 11 builds have been shared that it would suggest that many options would also be available to PC gamers. So, Gaming KB, Stream Deck MK.2, Precision Mouse, ROG Strix. That one makes me a little happy. That'll have ROG Strix support on here. Too bad my mouse is not like RGB friendly in any way, shape, or form. So these available options would include the changing of brightness, type of lighting effect, and most importantly, the color, as shown by nearly released screenshots. These options would be available to all USB attached hardware, even Stream Deck from Elgato. So that's kind of cool because, like, well, I mean, I don't really have to worry about that with my Stream Deck. My Stream Deck I can personalize, so I don't care about colors on my Stream Deck because I usually change the background so that I can just look at the key out of the corner of my eye and I know what's there. I don't need to have like it doing rainbow colors on there because I don't leave it plugged in anyway. Because if I leave it plugged in, then it's always on. If the computer's on, it's on. So I've got it on a USB hub that I can turn the power for it on and off, so I'm not just like on and not doing anything. So the only time I really utilize it is for streaming or playing Assetto Corsa Competizione. Outside of that, I don't use it. So cool stuff. As long as Windows 11's implementations on this is not bloatware, guys. That would be my only fear behind it. And check this out. Intel's a little cheaper. AMD's getting a little cheaper too, guys. So BioStar from AMD. BioStar's AMD Radeon 7900 XT is now $40 cheaper. So now we are coming in at $859 for the BioStar. BioStar is not a bad GPU at all. I've never heard anybody really have any major complaints out of them. Outside of maybe the warranty takes a little bit longer. They're not in the United States, guys. So if you end up getting one of these things and it breaks, it's gonna take a little bit for, you know, shipping and all that good stuff. So be patient with the BioStar brand when it comes down to that aspect. But outside of that, I've never really heard anybody really complain about BioStar being a horrible brand. Never heard anything about bad cooling directly from them. They're basically making a reference style GPU, so it's gonna be nice and basic looking. You know, basic and simple. That's all you really need at the end of the day. Give me a way to be able to plug in connectors into it, slot it into a riser or a motherboard, and we're good to go. So I'm not sure if this is going to be for a short time, but I believe that this is going to be where the new pricing point is, which is going to show that as time goes on, we are going to start seeing the AMD 7900 XT's pricing come down. I would see this as a decent value at probably about $700 to $800 mark. I think we're just a little high with the $60 plus, you know, $860 plus tax on there. I think is still a little on the high side. So once they start getting down to where it's $800 plus tax or less, I think that's where the value proposition starts creeping in for this particular GPU. The closer you start dropping down into that $700 range, the better it's going to be. Now, we do know that AMD has been holding back inventory to try to keep the pricing as high as possible. It's pretty much what a lot of companies are going to be doing at this point, is to do artificial scarcity, which will drive market price up. So I have the need for more Bitcoin. Yo. So I think that this card's going to be a good proposition probably in the next few months if they get this pricing beat up under that $800 marker with tax on there. I could see that being better value for this generation. And know that the cards that were having issues, hopefully by this point, if you're buying it new, that they've already gotten past the problems that could have arose from their cooler design setup potentially having problems. It looked like it was in small batches of them that were having issues. Hopefully at this point in time their vapor chamber has been corrected, and they can move on from there. It didn't look like it was all the vapor chambers, just looked like it was like just some of them. And it was like no rhyme. It didn't look like there was a rhyme or reason, but man, that story went away real quick, didn't it, guys? Really quick. That they were having problems with their vapor chambers. And now we're starting to see the pricings come down on there. Either they fixed it and they're trying to keep to customer retention, but I don't think that with people remembering that if you buy this card, you have a 50-50 chance of it having the bad vapor chamber in there, and which means that you're going to have to warranty it out for bad thermal performance, if AMD is willing to do that. So now I think that they're going to be trying to entice people to purchase, which is going to kick them down on the product scale pricing wise, which is good for us if we are trying to find some budget GPUs that are good performance. So again, I would see more value closer to 700 with tax on there, but I think that anything under 800 with tax is a good value proposition for this generation. That's just my opinion on there. You can disagree with me all you want. Another one that I know that I've been looking at, I was like, ooh, that's kind of cool. Liquid Devil's boost clock is 2.68 gigahertz. So the Liquid, from Power Color, the makers of the Red Devil, they have the Liquid Devil. So it's the Red Devil basically binned and with a custom water block already attached to it. You just slot it into your computer that's already got custom plumbing, and you're good to go. Definitely going to be made in partnership with EK. You can see the EK fittings in the picture here too. But when you're putting the cards with liquid cooling, depending on your radiators, depends on how much wattage you can push through this stuff. So if you've got minimalistic radiators for your computer, do not expect to be able to hit this 2.68. Now, if you have a 480 mil radiator just for the GPU, you could hit the 2.68 gigahertz if your card's got the binning for it. If it doesn't, then you won't. But they've got their BIOS. AMD is good for their multi-core BIOS on there, and now this particular card has got overclocked and unleashed. So you'll be able to basically just unlimit the card for extreme water cooling on there. Know that it's going to be utilizing more power. It's going to generate more heat, and when you're sitting there and you're pushing that much wattage through there, sometimes it gives you weird instability issues depending on what workload you have. So mileage may vary with stability wise, but for the most part, most people, they can put that, you have a good, I'd be able to slot that into my computer and not have an issue. I would love to slot that card into my computer because I'm plumbed for setting this up. So this would be a cool little use case for me to go pure AMD. But it's like I would be curious just to see it just with the performance of the the unleashed and overclock BIOS, what the true difference is, and do I see any instability issues with it. Where I would see an instability issue is if a particular program will already run optimizers for your hardware, and then the GPU puts its optimizations on top of it. What's a particular game that I can think of? My Dirt 4 game. So my little off-road rally game that I play every once in a while. If I have an overclock on my GPU and the game launches, like I can launch the game, but it won't let me go into the race because it's trying to put its own optimizations according to what my hardware is. And then my hardware is already overclocked, so it's like doubling up the overclocking, and it just has a heart attack and seizes up right there. But yeah, to see something like this, be pretty cool. Be pretty cool to play around with some awesome hardware like this. I would not be unhappy to play with this said hardware. So we are coming up onto that 1 hour mark, guys. Does anybody have any comments or questions before I head up out of here? You seen Madden NFL 23? No, I have not, my dude. I have not. You're probably not going to like me. I like playing football. I hate watching it. And I've never played football video games. Well, hold on. I won't say never. It was not my thing. Like, I think they need to go bankrupt, but the graphics are unreal. Check it out on EVGA's Twitch stream. I'll check it out. I mean, it's like a lot of these newer games are like, they're pushing the graphical limits where you're like, wow. Like, I can tell that it's not real, but that's got some depth to it. Like, we're at the precipice that maybe in the next 10 years we're gonna play a video game and somebody walking by is not gonna know that it's not real. Like, I remember, like, the first time I saw everything going from pixelated blocks to a staggered line. It was like, wow, it's so smooth. Look at the detail in that. And then to play the games now, that, like, oh my god. Like some of the early Dirt Rally games, that would, they were so blocky. God, what else? Man, there are so many games that were from back in the mid '90s. Whenever I was I'm in high school gaming. Everything was pixelated, blocky, top-down view. Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto was a top-down view, and your character was like four or five squares big. My dad's PST, yeah, kicks in with the Call of Duty games. He won't watch them. I bet. Like, I would be curious to see how my dad would react to me playing a Vietnam era game today. My dad would probably be in the same category, It's like the video games today are just getting more and more real, and then they have the cinematographic cutaway scenes that are just like ultra realistic, and yeah, oh my god. So does anybody got any other comments or questions before I head up out of here, guys? They saw bad stuff. I wouldn't do that. No, I know. I know. My dad, I like my dad at his day still doesn't talk about Vietnam at all. He just goes, it sucked. KD box on the way. Yo, Golden Wolf. Nice, nice, nice. Get those gains while you can, I guess. All right, so if nobody has any other comments or questions, certainly drop an FA in the Chizity chat. Check the links out below, guys. If you're new here, join the Discord. It is free, guys. Love to have you be a part of the community, all that good stuff. All you got to do is pass my verification bot in there to make sure you're a real human person. Waiting on China. Chickadee China, that's for sure. That is for sure. They took my info. No SE box yet. Man, I hope you get it sometime soon. Sometime soon. DHL keeps sending texts. Nice. And if you guys are looking to have any of your gear hosted over at the Family Mine, we are getting power put in. We got temporary power that we have put in, so we have discovered another 200 amps worth of utilization. We'll have that gone in like a day. So we're waiting for city inspector to come in and sign off on it. And as soon as he signs off on it, I can plug everything in, and we're good to go. Woohoo! So that's all I need to do. And then we can sit there and get some more people in. And then we're just waiting on the power company to get contracts back to us and all that good stuff. As soon as they get contracts back to us, we can sit there and come up with the funding that we need to get all the power that we need. Get a half a megawatt, 500 kVA into the building here. And then we can open up the doors to the rest of the public and get everybody the frick in and now. Nemesis, just get Tony Stark's arc reactor. Yeah, I wish. If it was just that easy. I wish I could do that. Get me his number. I'll do it. I'll ask him. Be like, bro, I got a great use. So, all right. Well, if nobody else has any other comments or questions here, all that good stuff. Definitely check out the Patreon link down below. If you're wanting to have your rigs hosted at the Family Mine, get into the Patreon, get into the Pseudo Hasher tier now before it's too late. And the perk that's in there is no longer being offered out. Guys, I'm just saying, you want to get into there. It's totally worth it. It makes the Patreon side like free, I guess. Y'all. What are you sitting there doing here? Who's live next? I don't even know who this is. Hold on here. New tab. Who this? That's not opening up properly. Oh, Mining King. Okay. Let me see here. Let's see. No. If I have him. Man, his name doesn't even come up here in the list. Like, I know who the Mining King is, but there's also more than one Mining King here. Holy cow, he does not have a unique name. Have him in this list. Oh, that's right. It's 2 eyes. Oh, that's what I did wrong. There we go. I forgot he had 2 eyes in his name. Ah! And I'm not even subbed to him. I'll change that. Now I can go into here, edit that. Let's see here. Let's see here. Customization. Yeah, I should type here. Oh, he doesn't have redirects on. Ha! I can't even redirect to him. That's too funny. Dang, just saw his stream pop up. Rock on, rock on. So, all right, looks like Techman's got his yeah, I'd redirect them up over there, but it doesn't look like his redirect is on. So I can't do nothing. It lets DCA come up into it, but not him. So, all right, maybe next time. Maybe next time. So, thank you everybody for being here. All that good stuff. Anyway, so unfortunately, I can't do the redirect. So, if you guys want to go over to Mining King, Techman dropped the link. It looked like right there. So it did look like Golden did too, but it wasn't working for me for whatever reason. But what up, Dakota Miner? So I'm going to be heading up out of here. It has been a blast, guys. I'll be back Monday. Be back Monday morning, of course, 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Pumping some iron first thing in the morning. Followed up by 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on Monday. Going to be sitting there bringing all that crypto news, guys. So, crypto and hardware news. So, with that being said, Mining King equals rested beard phased. Yes, that is true, man. He has an epic beard. That is true. Very epic. So, thank you everybody being here. All that good stuff. Smash that lizard like button. Peace out. Stay savage. And may your watts be low and your hash be high. I'll see you on the next one. Drop FA in the Chisney chat. Do it. Do it now.